Meeting is
So
being recorded. Sorry.
why would you do that?
I'm sorry. I just got excited.
You knew I was going to say so, Michelle.
I didn't realize it started yet. I thought I had to click OK, and then it would be like, okay.
Was there an okay?
Yeah. I had to click OK.
You had to agree to it?
Yeah. It says okay or leave meeting.
Oh, well.
Sorry. Just pretend that didn't happen.
No, I can't now. It's in the ether. You have ruined everything I hold dear to me.
I know.
I am destroyed.
I'm sorry.
I am a man destroyed.
I know.
How are you today, Michelle?
I don't know. How are you?
Well, thanks for giving me all your content. I'm not bad, although I'm bummed. I wore a black shirt, which actually is a great shirt. Hold on. I'm gonna for people who are listening, just pretend it's something cool you're seeing.
Ooh, that is cool.
It's a skeleton man hanging 10, surfing and literally throwing the hanging 10 hand symbol. I found it at Five Below for $5, and I was like, well, you're coming home with me, little skeleton man. And yeah, so, but I'm bummed because I should have wore a lighter shirt so you could see that I actually trimmed my beard some.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Actually, quite a bit.
Yeah.
I actually shaped it like a person does. Because next week I'll be filming my cameo for one of the movies that I have to do a cameo for, and then I'll probably film the other one right after that.
Good.
And then I can go back to my original form. I can shave my beard and stuff. Although it's short now, like it'll take a while to get as long as it was, but I can go back to what I like. But
yeah,
not that I don't like this. Is actually okay, but it's just kind of standard.
Yeah.
You know, that's the part I don't like so much. Although I did discover something really cool that I'm going to experiment with before I shave everything, which is the sides of my face have gotten so long, like so long that I could actually, if I wanted to, wax them into my mustache and potentially make my mustache go all the way across my cheek. So I'm going to try that.
Yeah.
Because one of the cameos I'm doing is in a Western, so that might actually work, like to do that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try that. Speaking of Westerns, so I just when people are listening to this, I'll actually, recording on Wednesday and releasing on Monday is so weird. Well, no, because of the like making movies on the weekend the way I often do. Because it's like, okay, well, by the time you guys listen to this, let me give you a recap of the first weekend, but the second weekend will be over when you hear this. But those who've been listening have definitely wondered, because we talked at length last week about what my job is like, what directing movies is like, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I've been sick and all this stuff. And my first time back directing since COVID and all that. And it went well. I mean, it went very, very well.
Good.
In fact, it went so well that I did what I do whenever anything is going well. I started to panic, became convinced I was mistaken, became convinced that I was just simply not aware. Now, of course, that makes some sense, not just because of horrible anxiety disorder, but also because I have been completely exhausted. The shoot was good, but it was exhausting for me. It was some of the hardest I've worked in a really long time. So yesterday I definitely was kind of dazed and confused here and there. Like I was just sleeping a lot and resting. And then all of a sudden I literally, I'm not joking, I literally sat up and was like, wait, are we really going to be done if we shoot just these next few days that we have scheduled? Are we really going to be done? Are we getting everything? So then I did butt math of the total pages shot every day and was like, no, the number doesn't add up. The number doesn't add up. It has fractions in it and stuff. There's no way I could actually do the math, right? So then I'm like, so then I decided, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sit down with the schedule on my iPad with a pencil, with an Apple Pencil, and I'm just going to go, there's scene 1, check. Scene 2, check. Scene 3. Now I have to move all over the schedule to find them, and I would just check them, and any scene I didn't find, I would write down. I'd be like, okay, I didn't find scene 5. We don't have that scheduled. Now, the way this film works, that we're using, and this is, a reveal of movie magic, but we're using stock footage for some of the stuff. Like there's an exterior of a barn, and we needed a really rustic looking barn,
Mhm.
so we used stock footage of like an actual barn from like that was made in the 1800s. So stuff like that is its own scene technically, because we cut to the barn and then you see it for a minute and then it cuts to something else. So it's its own scene, technically speaking.
Yeah.
Those scenes are obviously not going to be on the schedule because we don't film them.
Right.
They already exist.
Right.
But when you have 66 scenes in this script, I can't keep them all straight. Not
Mhm.
even close. When somebody says we're shooting scene 16, I just blink until I'm looking at the script and reading the scene, and then I go,
Mhm.
now it makes sense. So I wrote down all the scenes that were missing and I sent them to my producing partner. And I said, hey, I'm not saying that you missed anything, but this is my audit of like what isn't in the schedule. Just make sure all of these are things that aren't supposed to be in the schedule and we're golden. And she was so nice. She not only wrote me back and confirmed it, she actually put down what each of those scenes was, which I didn't need to know, but it did ease my mind even more.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's just, I've made a million movie schedules and I've missed scenes before. Caught it later, but I missed it at the first go. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to help.
Yeah.
Also, I was just sitting by myself and I didn't know what to do with myself, and it was either that or cry. So I worked on the damn movie. Okay. But no, so the shoot went great. We worked 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. So not crazy long hours, but not a short day either.
Mhm.
Crazy short day either. We got ahead every day, which is excellent. Our weather, so from a rain standpoint, we did great. But it was very, very, very hot.
Yeah.
Topped off at almost 88 degrees and
Yeah.
sunny.
That's pretty warm.
Yeah, it's pretty warm. So on the first day we did all right, but one of our crew got a little too much sun and started feeling sick. And then on the second day I got too much sun and started feeling sick. But then we lucked out because after lunch it got cloudy and it just stayed mostly cloudy the rest of the day. And man, that makes a difference.
Yeah, it
Now
really
here's what's
does.
crazy. They're predicting probably no rain this weekend. There's a small chance of rain on one of the days. Very small chance, like 20% chance. So it says it's not going to rain.
Mhm.
You know that thing where it shows the cloud with no rain, but it says 20% chance?
Yeah.
That's what we have right now. But the high on Saturday is 61 degrees. That's
Wow.
like ridiculously comfortable
Yeah.
after we sweated our balls off. And oh my gosh. So we're shooting a scene on Sunday, the hotter day of the 2 days. We'd already, because we'd filmed some stuff prior, we filmed the scene with them at a campfire at night because that's an awesome looking sequence. Well, we had to get some scenes of them at that same campfire during the daytime.
Sure.
And I was looking at the fire and I was like, wow, that fire's really been built up considering like all they're using it for in the script is to cook. And
Mhm.
I noticed that the crew was putting more wood on it, kept putting more wood on it. And I was like, guys, do you have any idea how hot it is outside? Like the actors went and sat by it and I was like, you guys okay? Because they're sitting by like a roaring fire and it's
Mhm.
88 degrees outside. So suffering for art is important, you know?
Mhm. Yeah.
So if you're not suffering, then what are you even doing?
Yeah.
So but no, but it went really well. We actually shot ahead. So much so that on Sunday we were shooting stuff for the following weekend. And it looks like this weekend coming up, we're going to be shooting stuff for the next whatever we can for the next weekend,
Cool.
which is also really good news because next weekend the weather report is really spotty right now. Of
Mhm.
course, it's so far out, it'll probably change a bunch, but we've been really lucky so far. So I'm very happy with how things went. My self-esteem is bizarrely high because I did the thing I believe that I am good at, and it
Yeah.
made me feel good about myself. I also have nothing else to say about that. I did good. It's been a very challenging year.
Mhm.
And I'm happy to be back doing the thing I like to do so much.
Good. Yeah, I'm really glad it went well.
So, well, you knew everything because I called you on my drive home every day from
Mhm.
set.
Yeah.
And it was like, and it was nice. I was like, I just want to update you. Also, if you could just help me stay awake, that would be really great. Because I was just well enough to be driving myself to set every day. I did a movie once where I wasn't quite well enough to drive myself to set,
Yeah.
right after my surgery.
Yeah.
So I was able to drive myself to set every day. Although part of me was like, man, I wish I'd made someone drive me. But I also, the crew needs my car to carry gear. Like
Hmm.
I show up with the production a Prius jam packed with everything you could need to make a movie in one Prius with absolutely no passenger space whatsoever. So I remember going out to do a job out in Pennsylvania once as a director of photography, and the director didn't really give me details. Like I sent him a list of all the stuff I had that he had at his disposal, what types of lights, what types of lenses. And he just didn't really respond, so I just packed everything I could.
Hmm.
And when it comes to a director of photography's toolbox, I mean, yeah, lenses is obvious. Yeah, camera is obvious. Yeah, a stabilizer is obvious. Yeah, drone is obvious if you have one. Yeah, a second camera is obvious if you have one. Yes, lights are obvious. Light modifiers are obvious. But then there's things like fog machine. Fog machine will help diffuse light. It can make a very interesting looking scene.
Hmm.
So I literally like filled the car with all the basics and then just stuffed anything else I could get, like a fog machine. And of course, I get there and I have like fog machines and like milk crates full of like cabling and little extra things and all this stuff. Never used any of it, but I drove
Yeah.
it all 9 hours each way.
Yeah.
So,
And it
and I kept,
appreciated that.
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. And I kept thinking, man, if my car went off the road right now, I would lose a lot of money if I lived.
Yeah.
Um, Although I think that would technically be covered by my car's insurance policy, but
Yeah, maybe.
I'm not a doctor, so don't take any insurance advice from me. So so uh so Michelle, though, you are having a very eventful day.
I
You're
guess.
getting new brakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's good though, because stopping in your car is always a good idea.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I'm just getting new front brakes. Apparently
Oh,
the back brakes are okay probably for another year.
I feel like you misled me into thinking you were getting all new brakes in order to make me think you were cool.
Oh, sorry. I mean I did, but I'm sorry.
But
But
oh, sorry, no,
no,
please,
no, it's
no,
okay.
say a thing.
Oh, so yeah, so my car is just being inspected because I live in PA, so you have to get your car inspected by some private place so they can charge you whatever they feel like. Uh-huh. Yeah,
Oh, that's so
but
sad.
it's sad, I guess. But yeah, so I went to my mechanic and he called me and he was like, "Hey, so your car's looking good. I'm gonna pass you, but you're gonna need new front brakes soon. Like, so maybe like in 3 months you can come back." And I was like, "Could you just give me new brakes now? Like, why would I
And
come
I
back
not
in
pay
three
for
months?"
them.
Yeah. Then they just be part of the inspection fee? And he was like, "Sure, sure, whatever. I don't need money to survive." Um, so, but yeah,
Well, good, I guess.
I guess.
Uh, well, we don't do inspections in Ohio,
I
so
know.
we used to. We used to do a emissions check or something.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's over.
Yeah, I know.
That's been over for a while.
Yeah.
So, um, sorry that you have to live in Pennsylvania
That,
and do that.
that's
I
okay.
I
Otherwise,
like
how would I
Pennsylvania.
know?
It's just I mean, I when I lived in New Jersey, I feel like the
Mhm.
statute of limitations is up. I kept my car registered in Ohio because the insurance was cheaper and I never had to get an inspection.
Mhm.
so so for several years, my car still had Ohio plates. And when you get pulled over or whatever, you could be like, "Oh, I'm just visiting someone," and you could get
Mhm.
away with it.
Yeah.
So I remember because I got pulled over in this one little township and the guy had mentioned like, "What are you doing here?" I was like, "Oh, I've been visiting for a little while, might start working out here." I don't know why that's the one I went with, but I went with
Mhm.
that. Oh, I guess because at the time I didn't know that in 2 years I would be gone. So maybe I knew one day I would have to eventually, if I had stayed in New Jersey for 10 years, I would eventually have to like move everything there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Someday. Knowing me, I would have put it off for 10 years. But so it was like he was like, "Oh, well, if you're here more than this amount of time, you gotta get registered." And I was like, "Oh, understood." And then I never drove through that township ever again.
Yeah.
I just took there was a state route that went right around that township. So I just used
Mhm.
that to get to the Stop and Shop.
Yeah.
So it's funny because, I visited the last time I visited, I drove through that township and I was like, I don't even illegally, or I'm not illegally, but I'm not even pretending I live somewhere else. And I'm in a different make and model car.
Yeah.
No, no one will know. No one can ever know. Um, but no, so well, I'm glad your car is safe to drive.
Me too. Me too. I just thought it was weird because, like, I think it's a small like family owned shop. I think they have a lot of people who like can't afford to do things to their car, and they always think that I can, or maybe they just think I can't. So they're always like, you can wait. And I was like, it's 3 months. Like, what's gonna be different in 3 months?
Well, have
Like,
you had a lot of work done there?
yeah.
Well, I mean, in my experience, when I have a shop that I go to all the time,
Hmm.
they tend to be very realistic and friendly about when you need to come back.
Hmm.
So they're not going to be like, look, this is looking pretty bad. They'll be like, but, we know when you need this, you're going to come here. So you should
Yeah.
probably do this in the next few months.
Hmm. Yeah.
That's the way my local mechanic is.
That makes
So they've been
sense.
really good to me. So was my old Goodyear. I miss that Goodyear. That was the best
Sorry.
mechanic experience I had, was that damn Goodyear. I miss them, but they were great about that too. They'd be like, I think you definitely get away with 4 months of this, but definitely get it done when you can.
Hmm.
And I'd be like, thanks, because I was super duper friggin' broke back then.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now I'm only super broke, but not super duper friggin'
That's good.
finger guns. So, but of course, this show is weird for me because I have almost nothing else in my life but movie right now. Like, I'm too tired to have a life. I will say, big ups to my ancestors because I somehow did not get a sunburn.
That's pretty good.
I'm impressed, man. I mean, I know how my melanin works and stuff. This camera, I'm like lit by like the whitest light ever.
Yeah,
I don't look tan at
yeah.
all.
No, you don't.
Um, I'm actually like easily 3 shades darker than I was before the shoot. And we were applying sunscreen constantly, but shit happens when you're in direct sunlight,
Mhm.
especially. Um, the new joke. So okay, when I did the first Western I ever did, which was called Calamity Jane's Revenge, weather was literally in the 90s. We had one day it hit 97 degrees. It
Wow.
was very, very hot out. And we were all working very hard. We were working long hours. And I had like those wet towels you put on the back of your neck to cool yourself down. I had all this stuff to try and keep people okay. And one of my rules is if you're working outdoors and it's going to be more than, 50 degrees, ice cold water has to always be available.
Mhm.
I mean, freezing cold water. You have a cooler full of ice and water. Period. And this time, next weekend, although now of course it's not going to be as hot, I got Gatorade for everybody too because I realized that
Aw.
might have helped a little more
Yeah.
as well because we were sweating our balls off. But like, so like, it was so hot. I would stop everything and grab a fresh ice cold bottle of water and just down half of it as fast as I could just to get my core to feel cool. I'd be like,
Aw.
it's good stuff. But on Jane, I learned a lot about how to handle heat. And the joke on the set of this movie was people would always say, like, when they would see me, they would quote me and go, hey, where's your big floppy hat? Because that's what I say. People will walk
Mhm.
out of their car and I'm like, hey, where's your big floppy hat? Because I tell everybody, I'm like, guys, the rule is big floppy hat.
Mhm.
So some people will be like, I'm wearing a ball cap. And I'd be like, all right, tell you back of your neck, I said, rest in peace.
Yeah.
I wear a big floppy hat with the thing that hangs down off the back over the back of my neck. Um, so yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
where's your big floppy hat? One of the Henrik quotables. So
Yes.
ironically, I could not find those wet towels for the backs of people's necks.
Oh
I
no.
couldn't find them. I'd bought a ton of them, but I couldn't find them. So I bought more. And of course, now it looks like we probably won't have another day that even hits 80 the rest of production. Of course, the moment I spend the money.
if it's in like the 50s, you should give them to people anyway and be like, you have to wear them, and then everyone will be like shivering.
I'm like, quiet on set. I can hear your teeth chattering on the body mic. Stop it. So,
Bring some more cold water.
here's some more cold water. So no, it was a good experience. But yeah, so I guess though, if I wanted to explain how stupid I am, so I somehow didn't get a sunburn. I mean, I managed to not get sunstroke by being smart, taking breaks. We had a canopy up, so people during during solar noon, we could go under the canopy and have some shade. Although the bees just kept flying into the friggin' canopy, which was really fun because I'm
Fine.
allergic.
Yeah.
I just sit there and be like, oh crap, there's a bee in here. And I'm like, are you sure it's a bee and not a wasp? And they're like, yeah, it's a bee. And I'm like, all right, I don't care.
Hmm.
And then they were like, no, that's a yellow jacket. I'm like, ah, fuck.
It's always going to be like a yellow jacket, because if it's a bee, like, why is it just hanging out in a tent?
Yeah.
Like, what's it doing there?
So we shoot, we're shooting stuff. I'm getting a massive amount of sun.
Hmm.
Just woo. Which actually felt kind of nice because I've been indoors for forever. It feels like it was kind of nice to work outside for two whole days.
Good, good.
Kind of, inspired my blue collar mentality.
Yeah.
Well, because making movies is blue collar. It is. It really is. The editing and the sales, all that stuff is white collar. But being out there, you're handling equipment, you're driving trucks, you're like, it's blue collar. And I enjoyed that a lot. And then the next day, Rachel and I are just hanging out and we're like, we're both, well, I'm really tired. She's normal tired. I'm like so tired I can't think. And it's like, what are we gonna do today? And it's like, let's go to the grocery store. So we go to the grocery store real quick. And I'm like, you know what? Since we're out, let's go get the bottled water for everybody for next week. Because I don't know why exactly, but Sam's Club is selling bottled water so cheap. I thought like they should just give it away for free. 40 bottles of water for $2.99.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
40 for
Maybe
2.99.
maybe they just really care about you.
I think they may have overstocked from when people were hoarding and
Probably.
now they need to get it out of there. But that's a massive gain. I mean, I think that normally I would expect to pay about $8 for that. So it's still not a lot. Every time I make a movie, I'm always surprised how cheap bottled water is when you buy like multi-packs. Because I remember one time I couldn't get to Sam's Club. So I was like, I have to buy it at Kroger. And I was like, oh, I'm paying like $1.20 more. Like it's still cheap.
Yeah.
So we bought an ass load of bottled water because I'm hoping maybe this will be enough for the rest of the production. And we bought some Gatorade, bought some stuff for the movie. And then after that, I literally just looked at her and I was like, we should go to Caesar's Creek and sit on the beach and like get in the water. And she was like, really? And I was like, yeah, and we're already out. Let's go get bait. Let's just go get brand new bathing suits and we'll go to Five Below and get some like stupid water toys and let's just go do it. And she got really excited because this is how, so I don't mean to cast any shade on how I was raised. Okay. I was raised in a loving household where we were broke a lot. And about a year ago, Rachel and I went to a place called Caesar's Creek. It's a giant lake, with a beach and everything. And she had said like, we should just go to Caesar's Creek and we can like swim and play around and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I've heard good things I've heard that place is fun, but I don't know. And then she was like, come on, we should go. And I was like, well, okay. And then I literally was like, well, how much does it cost? Do I need cash? And she was like, it's free. I mean, your tax dollars pay for it, but like you just drive up, park, and then go in the water. And I was like, really? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, when I was a kid, we didn't do stuff. Okay. Like we, we paid bills and we watched movies. Like that was what my childhood was mostly. My dad got to do all the fun stuff because he was weekend dad. Well, he wasn't even weekend dad. He was summer break dad. I'd go see him for a few weeks in summer. So, he was the one who would take me on fishing trips. He was the one who would take me to the beach. And of course, it didn't hurt that he lived, I don't know, 620 miles closer to the ocean than we did. Yeah. That also helps. Yeah. But yeah, so he would do all the fun stuff and mom, gets stuck with the mundane stuff. Mom's got to make sure I eat my sandwich. Yeah, right. Like I ever needed to be told, like, eat your sandwich. I was not one of those kids. Although, what's funny? So because I grew up so kind of bare bones, we just, I like to call it, I had a utilitarian childhood. and it
Okay.
made me a very utilitarian person.
Mhm.
Like I have a friend who just got back from a 10-day vacation. They're 10 years younger than me. They're 24 years old. They just got back from a 10-day vacation. That is almost more days than all of the vacations I've taken in my life combined.
Yeah.
What actually it might be. No, not quite. Because last year I took more vacations than normal because I desperately needed to get out of the house.
Mhm.
But still, like when I go on vacation, it's maybe 3 days.
Yeah.
So it's like nothing against them. It's just that the way I grew up, we didn't do that. We
Mhm.
just didn't. It was too expensive, or we had too much to do, or what have you. So I don't remember what my point was. Oh, utilitarian childhood.
Mhm.
So it's a great way to say like we were just cheap. Um, do me a favor,
Yeah.
tap your mic. Your mic is not on.
No. No, that's why I'm so quiet. Cause nobody here. No. Damn it. What? It is on. It's totally on. Like I can see it on, but it is obviously not. Okay, well I can't change it now.
It's okay. We're committing to it.
Oh
You
man.
bumped it, and I heard it really loud, and I went, "Oh no!" And I was hearing bleed of me talking, which made me
Oh,
wonder if
I
the mic
thought.
was close.
Yeah, I thought that. Yeah.
It's okay. Michelle went to school for audio stuff.
How was I supposed to know that I can't hear? Like I can't. Like I'm not listening to my voice back, so I can't hear what's going on. I just have to assume that things are okay. Why did the settings change? I didn't change the settings.
You must have changed the settings.
No, I haven't had this plugged in since last week.
Let's let's move on.
Damn
It's okay. You sound perfectly fine.
it. Sure.
Uh,
Okay, well, we're gonna get rid of this microphone now.
what? You're breaking the illusion.
Okay. I'll put it like way close.
I don't want anyone to see my face. I'm just
Yeah, I'm gonna just hide behind the microphone.
so. I'm trying to remember what my point was about utilitarian childhood, and now I've lost
Oh.
it. And Michelle is properly shamed. So I'm sorry, Michelle.
How would I know? I'm tapping it and it's lighting up that it's being tapped. So I know that it is connected
Oh wait,
to.
yeah, it's definitely connected. But I mean, in Zencaster, if you click the drop down, does it say that you're connected to? Yeah. Oh man, I can see it. It says headset microphone
I
default.
didn't do that. I didn't change
But I'm
it.
just telling you that like even I can see it on
I
my
mean, I
end.
can see it too, but I didn't have the drop down. I didn't have the drop down menu open. So what am I supposed to do? And it won't let me change it right now.
It's okay. It's okay.
No,
It's
it's
just
not
really funny.
okay. No,
It's making me laugh. I mean,
well, that's nice.
um, I wish I could remember. I had a point about utilitarian childhood, and now it's completely gone.
Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. We were all too busy laughing at Michelle's expense.
No,
I hope people comment "ha ha ha" on YouTube and stuff.
I'm sure they
Um,
will.
poor Michelle. Look how embarrassed she is. Everybody, look at her
They can't.
as you bump the mic, because who cares?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
That would explain why when we were doing the test, you're like, it's clipping now. Like, are you sure it's not
Oh,
loud
right.
enough?
Yeah, yeah.
But oh Lord. So uh man, what was my point about utilitarian childhood? Can you help me with that? Do you have any
So
clue where I was going?
you were hanging out at the beach and you were talking
Oh,
about how you didn't do that as a kid and you didn't even know it didn't cost money, which I don't know either because I don't live there. So,
um I my point was just, it's just we I grew up differently than some people,
mhm.
I guess. And nothing against it at all. And now that I'm in my 30s, I'm actually like starting to think like I should save some money and go on some trips and do some
Yeah,
fun things. It probably would be good.
yeah,
But I mean, I was always, I've been sacrificing that's been my thing is just sacrifice, sacrifice, sacrifice. So, but I love what I do. It was worth it to get to a point where I could make movies for a living. I just had to sacrifice a lot.
mhm.
Went on my first vacation when I was 29.
Wow.
Yeah, 2 days. and I was nervous about it the whole time. I was like, man,
Oh,
I'm gonna be away for 2 days.
yeah.
I like how now you're just like touching the mic and like
Yeah, I mean,
holding onto it
at
for
this point, I
comfort.
mean, this is comfortable, so I'll just stay.
Well, Michelle, do you have anything you want to say for yourself before we leave?
No.
Do you want to tell people your exact educational status
No.
with in relation to sound and music?
No.
You know, so I subscribe to a couple of YouTube channels that like do microphone tutorials and do microphone reviews.
Mhm.
And one of the things they say to do every single time you do a recording is scratch the front of your microphone to make sure it's on, that it's
Well,
actually the thing you're recording.
well, that's nice, but I can't hear my microphone,
No, but you
so
could see the waveform.
I thought that it looked right.
And I could have heard it for you.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, but he mentioned like literally this guy who's done like 185, YouTube podcasts. He had said he was like, I've done entire videos where I had to go in and like correct them a ton because I realized I was using the Max built-in microphone, even though
Mhm.
I had like a $800 microphone right in my
Mhm.
face.
Yep. Yep.
It's okay, Michelle. We all still like you.
No, you don't. Nobody ever liked me.
Guys, if you like Michelle, here's how we're going to prove it. Here's how we're going to
Oh.
prove that people like Michelle. This is very self-serving. Go to awkwardshow.com and click on tip jar and tip any amount and say, I like Michelle in the comment.
You don't have to do that.
Please do that.
It's okay.
I'm spending a lot of money finishing this movie. Please do. Although I want to say real quick before we take off, big thank you to Craig Cohen, by the way. He actually sent in without any, I mean, I'm being shameless about like, please send some money. But he without any prompting sent some money in to help feed the cast and crew because he just wanted to.
It's really
Thank
nice.
you, Craig. You are a mensch, my friend. So Michelle, so for myself and for Michelle and her not on microphone, I'm sorry, it's on. It's just not
It's just
in
not.
use.
Yeah, it's just going into the computer and then not going anywhere from there.
Do you feel like this is a proper like metaphor for your life?
Yeah, pretty much.
Hey, but look on the bright side. Your mechanic didn't call in the middle of the show.
Oh, really? Not yet. Yeah, I bet he'll just forget now and not call me until like I call them at like 4 and be like, "Can I have my car back?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, it's been done for like 5 hours."
Well, maybe it's time. Maybe things are gonna start coming up, Michelle.